Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Academy. My name is Wesu Emmanuel and you are welcome to another training on programming. Today we are still on Python programming, and today we want to look at data types. There are so many or different types of data types that we employ in Python, and we are going to look at just few of those few of those data types. The first data type we are going to look at is a data type which we call a string, string, S-T-R-I-N-G, and for short here we usually see it as str for string. Now, what is a string? A string is a sequence of characters, either as a literal constant or some kind of variable. Now, and a string is usually in quote. For example, if I say print and I open a bracket, double quotes, and I put Emma, okay, Emma, then Digital Academy. So here now we see it. This is a string. It is a string. It's a set of characters. We have already quoted it. Now, if I run it here, then it's going to return that to us, Emma Digital Academy. So that is a string. Now, the next we are going to look at is what is called integer. We are looking at integer. What's an integer? An integer is different from a string. Integer, integer in your mathematics. This is integer. Well, here we use it as int for short. Int for short. For example, if I say print open bracket 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, and so on. So what I have here is what is called an integer, normal type of numbers, numerical values. Let's run this and we see 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are normal type of our numbers, ordinal numbers. Now you can see the comma is not showing, but if I go ahead and make it a string, it's going to display everything. Now a string is telling the machine that this is what we want to display, and you should display it that same way. So let's see what happens. You can see it's returning it exactly as it is, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is a string. Everything, whatever you put in a string, comes out just that way. So that is different from integer. And you can see Emma 2. I've placed 2 here and it's bringing it out. Well, here, let's see what happens if, okay, I put, and let's run this and let's see. Yes, you can see that there's a kind of error here. So the computer is not identifying this Emma in this integer, because what the computer is expecting is to see just only numbers and not character. That is why you can see syntax error, invalid syntax, line 2. Now, one good thing about Python is that it's going to tell you exactly where the error is coming from. So if I go ahead and, for example, I place a quote here and then a quote here, then what are we going to have? And let me go ahead and run this and let's see. It has converted it to what? Into a string, and it's going to print everything out in the terminal. So, but if I go ahead and I remove this, this is what we call an integer. Now, another type of data that we have is what is called a float. A float is a decimal point number. We call it float point number, but for short we call it a float. Float. So for example, if I say x equals to 2.5, this is a float. 2.5 is equal to 2.5. That 2.5 is a float point number, which we call in short a float. I can say print x, and then that's going to return us with what? Let's run it and see. You can see it's returning to what? 2.5. Okay. Now, Another data type that we also have is what's called Boolean. We call it Boolean. Let me remove this. We call it Boolean. Now, what's a Boolean? A Boolean is a logical statement, true or false. For example, if we say that is underscore a underscore male, we can go ahead and set this ones to true, and this is going to be capital T R E R U E. So that is what? This is a Boolean. You can also go ahead and say it is what? False. This data type is what is called a Boolean. Alright. I believe this is clear. And in the next training, I'm going to show you how we can make use of all this. Thank you. Until we see you.